Well, hello everybody. This is David Silverman speaking to you from Lancaster, Pennsylvania at an event that I'm doing with the band Vaught and the Villains. I had mistakenly thought that I would be back in time on Sunday, so I have to issue an official dope. And I do apologize for my mistake, but never the dog boneless will soldier on, and I'll talk a little bit about Homer's Triple Bypass. And I really enjoyed making this episode. I felt very pleased to be chosen to direct it. It was an interesting challenge at the time. Nobody had done a funny heart attack quite like this. Actually, though, I would say Brad Bird did the first funny, crusty heart attack. And so when I was handed this script to do a funny Homer heart attack, I took somewhat a different approach to it, and I had a great time with it and everything else about the episode. And actually, since you probably, I assume while I'm saying this, you've seen the clip, I want to talk about this part just beforehand where Mr. Burns spies Homer eating donuts with great happiness. And it was a fun scene to lay out. I like Mr. Burns in the foreground talking evilly about Homer, and then you turn and reveal Mr. Smithers in the background, way in the distance. It was a nice scene to do where you can have great sort of spatial distance, where Burns is in the front, dominating the scene, and Smithers is in the background, small and innocent, but just saying the truth to Mr. Burns and just making him angrier. So that was a lot of fun to set up. And then, of course, Homer's a heart attack in itself. I wanted to have a very big, vast scene to show Homer being confronted by Mr. Burns and looking insignificant in the big opening wide shot. By the way, at this point in the show, we didn't really have the budget to have shadows all the time, so we would use them judiciously, and this was a way to add to the drama and the emphasis by having this as a shadowed scene. So that was a conscious choice to do it that way, and I think it helped the effect and helped in making Homer feel put upon by Mr. Burns. And then, of course, are the funny drawings, hopefully the funny drawings of Homer. And one of the techniques I used in that was the way Homer's hands are positioned. Great sort of tension, and sort of the fingers are sort of splayed out or sort of in sort of interesting gnarled up poses. So actually I had a lot of fun with that, and it was a lot of trial and error of finding what is the best peculiar hand pose to have for Homer, as well as his face, gritting his teeth, and so on. And this is on the preliminary stuff where Homer is sort of about to have a heart attack and then is mollified, and then is about to have the heart attack and is mollified, and so on. And then comes, of course, the great big heart attack scene. So this was, again, doing different poses and what's the funniest weird extreme I could do. And this is one of those scenes that I recommend that you may want to investigate and look at frame by frame and look at some of the extreme poses that I did in it that you probably don't really see, but you certainly sort of feel the impact. And then in addition to that, there was the final pose that he holds when he's having his hilarious heart attack. And then when he has a heart attack, we have in the screen different images flash by, including, well, all the other hearts in the cards. We have the clubs and the spades and the diamonds and, of course, the hearts. And then when he falls over, it's essentially the same drawing, more or less retraced as he falls back onto the floor. And then, but the shadow is there to basically help sort of outline the contour of him as he falls out of the light and into the shadow. The other thing was interesting to mention is that when his spirit floats out of the body, I was made careful that there's always a little toe still in the body because, of course, he doesn't die. So his spirit never completely leaves the body. One more thing I can add is that the scene in the emergency ward. Originally, after Sideshow Mez says, "I'm telling you, it's not going to work," and they have the explosion, and he says, "See," we then cut originally to Krusty saying, "You know who I really feel sorry for? Sideshow Fred. He's on Mel's shoulder." Something like that. I forget the name of the did the other sideshow. But that line was cut, but I thought it was pretty funny. Let's see, what else can I add? Any questions? Oh, I can't answer them because this is a recorded voice of me. So with that, I will say ta-ta for now, and I have a great podcast. This is the 21st century,